Protests have now been seen in cities and towns in nearly all of Iran's 31 provinces. In this cell phone video obtained by VOA Persian, Iranian police are seen shooting at defiant protesters late Wednesday in the northwestern town of Bukhan in West Azerbaijan province. The protests began on September 16th with the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini, who was held in captivity by Iran's morality police for improperly wearing her hijab or headscarf. Human rights groups say at least 8 people have been killed in the demonstrations, though the number could be higher. State Department spokesperson Ned Price told VOA in New York on Thursday the violence is a hallmark of the Iranian regime.
It's a very simple fact. Mahsa Amini should be alive today. The only reason she's not is because of the brutal repression that the so-called morality police exercised against her, and what we're seeing, the same type of repression and brutality that Iranian authorities are implementing or employing against their own citizens.
Iranian women have been sharing videos on social media of themselves cutting their hair in protest of Amini's death, like this one posted on Twitter by Faizeh Afshan. Nasiba Shamsai, an Iranian women's rights activist, cut her hair in front of the Iranian consulate in Istanbul on Wednesday, chanting freedom. Tehran government rules make it mandatory for women to cover their hair in public. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi told the UN General Assembly on Wednesday he proudly defends the rights of his people. But Senate Foreign Relations Committee Chairman Robert Menendez said Raisi must be living in an alternative universe.
You know, the death of this young 22-year-old woman by the morality police in Iran is an example that is not about human rights. It's not about human rights when Iranian women cannot fully enjoy their place in Iranian society. It's not about human rights when you use your money not to help feed the people, but to arm different groups who create acts of terrorism.
VOA asked Republican Senator Rob Portman about President Joe Biden's UNGA remarks, during which he said diplomacy is the best way to deal with Tehran.
To me, the key is getting the rest of the free world to join us. So not just our allies in the Middle East, many of whom are very worried about the direction of Iran and what Iran is doing, not just with regard to the nuclear weapons, but also with regard to their exportation of terrorism around the region. But everybody should stand up together.
For now, the world is focused on the ongoing protests sparked by the death of Mahsa Amini, including this one in New York. Tehran says she died of a heart attack, but her family says that is not plausible. Cindy Saine, VOA News.